Welcome back to By Your Side. You're here with B-Wise and Tino on Cater. Don't mind me real quick if I have a little fanboy moment, but not too much. We're here with R&B Solstice. I mean, accomplished artist, musician, producer, engineer, and I'm gonna add rapper as well.
Okay. I'll take it.
There's nothing that she can't do. Her highly anticipated album, I'm Feeling Hopeful, was met with much acclaim. So I'm just thankful and grateful to be here to talk more about it. My good friend Milan Ring, how you doing?
Hey.
Now you can dap me up. We all
Hey.
was dapping off camera before. Look, first off, how's things been? How you been going?
I've been good.
Bring me up to date. Everything in the world of Milan. What's happening?
Yeah, good. Well, just been on tour at the moment, finally getting to play these songs live. You know, obviously album dropped, December last year. So thought it was going to be a good time. Obviously, you know, Omicron hit and it was bit of a tricky time to kind of get any gigs happening at the beginning of the year and all the floods and stuff. But it's been a lot of, as you would know, postponements, cancellations and stuff. But I finally did the show a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne. Yeah. And I realized I hadn't been in Melbourne for 2019, so 3 years. What is that?
Yeah, that was
a lot of years.
Yeah, so a few years. Almost 3 years.
Because 2020 refunded, 2021 refunded, cancelled, blah blah blah. You know, it's been so hard to get there, and Melbourne's my second.
So you stretched it out, obviously, with the cancellations, but now even. Did you find that there was any, did you find that people still were quite receptive even from when the album dropped and they've been riding with you and waiting for this moment, right?
Totally, absolutely, yeah. Well, it was crazy to see so many people singing every lyric to the album when it feels so fresh, especially haven't been, performing it yet and stuff. So that was really crazy to see and had merch there for the first time and vinyls, was signing stuff. We had a line after. That was
Speaking
weird.
Speaking of vinyls, that's a beautiful vinyl which you just brought in, and I'm thankful that you blessed our show with this vinyl. I put it there, shameless. I want everyone to see this, this quality of work.
Thank you for putting it there. Shameless plug, but disclaimer was I was just gifting it to you because you're fam and I wanted you to have it. So,
thank you.
That's nice.
No, I really appreciate that for real. Honestly, it's thoughtful, and that's goes to show a lot about you. You thought, well, we're going to get onto that. I want to even talk more about the album. Yeah. For me personally, Sydney Hugh, that was my joint. That was my track.
Nice.
You had a listening session that was actually, you had a small intimate listening session. It was actually quite beautiful to see everyone that came, and then, you stripped it back and you played it how you wanted to do it and just gave us all that first listen. But I want you to, if you can tell me a little bit more about, this album, where your mindset was at when you wrote it. What does it mean to you? When you wrote it, what was the overall context?
Lyrically, the songs really came to me in a short space of time. Majority of the album was written in 2 weeks because I go through periods that I don't write a lot, and then then I'm just ready, and it just comes out. It starts flowing. You're in that flow state. And for me, 2020, the beginning of, and even pre-pandemic is when I sort of started conceptualizing the album, and I knew my debut album I wanted to speak about a lot of things that have been strong themes in my life, and I think in a lot of people's lives and just in general. But
because your life up to that point, right? So on your debut, so you wanted to get that across?
Yeah, exactly. And I think I'd been doing quite a lot of healing and self-work at the time, and I just felt ready to talk about a lot of these things because the album has heavy themes in terms of mental health. There's a lot of talks about addiction a lot, control, relationships. So it was a lot to dig up. I think a lot of that was I just kind of pushed down a little bit, but it was a very healing, cathartic process, I think, making the album.
Well, I want to get into some of the album right now. I want to play this again was one of my favorites. This is Sydney Hugh featuring Blessed.
Yes.
So we're going to go into that music right now. We're going to come back with more Milan. Let's get it. Welcome back to By Your Side. You're here with B Wise and Tino, but I'm actually here still joined with our guest Milan Ring.
Hey.
Now, we talked a little bit about the album before the break, but I actually want to go into now. One thing that we do on this show is we like to explore the creative process. You know, me being an artist as well, and I'm here sitting with not just an artist. Like, I mean, you are just one of those people, and I've said it to you before that I'm amazed by all the different things that you do in the studio. I've seen it with my own eyes. I mean, just walk us through that a bit more, because you did mention as well that sometimes you might not write for a bit and might move on to other elements.
Yeah.
But what's a natural day, how when you're setting or about to start on a new record? What's it like? Walk me through your process if we can.
Yeah, for sure. Look, like every song is definitely different.
Yeah.
Like there's songs on the album I just sat there, me and the guitar, like just very kind of almost singer-songwriter R&B, styles. But there were other songs like Sydney Hugh, which is your favorite. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a beat of Bless, and I was like in a writing frenzy, and I didn't have enough. Like I was just like, send me stuff, and then
like, you mean you didn't have enough like beats on hand or like different elements or what?
I just wanted more. Like I was just like, I need stuff to write to, and then that really like caught my ear. And for example, like that song, like he sent me the stems, and then I like changed the arrangement. I added all the guitars, I added bass in, and I changed it up, of course, and whatever, but that came from him. So sometimes it comes from like someone else's idea, or sometimes like working with you, it's like you playing me some nice like West African music over your phone, and then I'm just on guitar like riffing. And then
can I jump into that real quick?
Yeah.
I want to just say this always sticks in my head as well. I remember we collaborated, and we were on a little writing trip to set the thing on my album. Milan came down. I think you were coming down for like a day, right? And you came down, and then that day turned into like 3 or 4 days, and we were just locked in. She stayed with us, and I mean, like the energy was high, and even like what you were mentioning before, like I can show you like an idea or a reference, and then you just pick up that guitar, you're off. And again, it was amazing just to see like your process and how you work as well.
Thank you.
I mean, it's amazing, but. I mean, look, I think instead of as well talking about, I want to dig more into that, but we're going to go straight to the song. I'm going to throw it in because we can, right? This is a song that we worked on together. This is Izinna featuring Sampa the Great and Milan Ring. Let's get it. Welcome back to By Your Side. You're with Wise and Tino here on Cater, and I'm still joined by the lovely Milan Ring. Now, I want to ask you something real quick, because during the pandemic and everything like that, we all found ourselves, doing things differently and just exploring more bags and just different things that we could do to, one, not only keep busy, but to also keep engaged with the audience and everything like that. But I felt that you leveled up and did something that felt a bit personal. I wanted to ask you a bit about a mini series that you created called Hopeful Conversations. Sort of saw you in this light as well, but I was wondering if you can explain to me like how the idea came about, and also like, what was the aim and the purpose of the series that you're looking to achieve.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we've had conversations over the last few years, and I'd find every conversation I would have with other creatives and artists, and I do, mentoring and stuff, so like my mentees and stuff, we were all talking about like how it was a hard time, obviously, and having these conversations about I guess like the nuances of being an artist and a creative, and what kind of, how that can affect one's like mental health and whatnot. And I think with the album's theme of hope, I wanted to give something really to the community, to the music community, specifically the creative community, that would hopefully be somewhat uplifting and hopeful, to feel connected, that we all going through the same thing, So I had different guests on, like different artists like Bless, Taku, Becca Hatch, to also, touch on these themes of like burnout, boundaries, procrastination, perfectionism, the critical mind, they're things that affect everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like turbo when you're an artist,
100.
It's like
why is that? Like, why do why do you think that we just really go through those stages? I'm not saying that we do it, or we feel those things more than anyone else, but it's just like, it's just very noticeable with us. I don't know what
because I think to be a creative and to express yourself, you have to be so open and vulnerable to feel all the energies and really feel what's happening in the world, whether or not your music's political, you're going to feel it, political leaning. feel what's happening in your life, what's happening with your friends. Like it's like you're just a sponge sucking in all this energy. And so obviously if it's a more negative time in the world, you know, you can feel it. And I don't know, I guess I just want to have these conversations. And I brought in, you know, an incredible psychologist, clinical psychotherapist, Rashida Dungawala, who's just incredible. And she's been like especially connected to music and the arts and understands those like nuances, I guess. And she, like, I learned so much because I was just throwing out some questions, but it was amazing to hear her kind of break it down in like a psychological way and scientific way to be like, this is what your brains are doing, and this is how you experience music, and this is why it means so much. And it was cool. That's
so. I guess, can we expect more of that? Do you feel like you're going to dive into it more?
I don't know, not right now. I'm not sure. It was I really enjoyed it. I just
because you have the, you know what I mean, like again, like you had that presence and it came across. So and it came
Thank
across.
you.
And maybe we can do a little platform here, like on our show. Like we love to have people on and just like change different things up. But anyway, I want to have you on more on the show if we can. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into some more music real quick, and then we're gonna be joined back again with Milan Ring. Stay with us. Welcome back to By Your Side. You're with Wise and Tino, and I'm joined with Milan Ring. It's been an amazing conversation, but one thing that people need to know is about your live act. Now, you just recently won a Smack Award for Best Live Act.
Hey.
Come on now, I got to give you some, some love. We got some claps in here. That's right.
Thanks, Tina.
So you've been recognized for your live setup. I've seen you with in the essence of a full band, by yourself, pedals, guitar, the whole go. Like I mean, I'm glad that you got that you got that credit.
Yeah.
And you've been recognized for that. When can we expect to see you more? And first off, let me revert back. Tell us more about like your live presence. And do you feel is that the main place that you prefer to be on stage? Is the stage more the spot?
Yeah, I love being on stage. I think it's one of those places that I feel the most present and free. Like I just kind of lose time, the zone, the flow comes to me. Like it happens in the studio a lot as well when I'm songwriting, for sure. But the stage is just very, it's just that energy of connecting with everyone in the room. It feels, like a spiritual experience in a lot of ways for me. Which I felt very deprived of, and I think going back in now is just like even more appreciation and love of that, which is awesome. So, and I've got obviously you've seen me like do the one woman show before, but at the moment I'm touring with the band, so I got bass, keys, drums, and I love like rearranging the songs for the live space. I enjoy doing some like musical direction stuff.
That's the real musician in you though, and it gives the audience another element of it, so that we can expect a bit of like things mixed around and played around with, so you give it a bit more your treatment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It breathes like new life into the song. You can flip it and change it up. So yeah.
So when can we expect to see you live again? What's coming up?
Well, this Saturday. This Saturday I'm at Darlinghurst Theatre Company in Sydney, April 30th. Yeah, that's the Sydney leg of the tour. Then we're over in Adelaide, May 6th. And then I've got some Vivid shows.
Oh, Vivid. Talk to me.
Yeah, the dates are online.
It's hard to remember all these days.
I think there's like 3, so sorry, excuse me, but there's a few Vivid shows, and then I'm going to be supporting Leon Bridges across Australia. Right. So I'm so excited because there's like international acts coming, and he's playing all like halls, like Hamer Hall, like stunning venues, which I'm very excited to perform in.
Yeah. No, this is look. I want to ask one more thing as well. Is because, I want to say something first. Is that like again, like giving you your flowers. You definitely an inspirational artist. I feel like more people need to be across you, and that's why I was very eager to want to have you on the show and in one of our early stages, because like
Thanks,
I've always been a fan of like from afar and up close of what you do. I want to ask you something along these lines though. Because we've had some conversations in person, but how would younger Milan feel about now where older Milan is? Because I want to ask you this question. Like you touch on it a bit throughout the album, but also on Fluttering. You know, you mentioned certain concepts. I mean, is there a little bit of a G element like to Milan that we don't know about? Like, I mean, you definitely it feels like you've had a transition from where you were in your teens to now. Would Teen Milan be very proud of where adult Milan is?
Oh, 100%. Teen Milan would be in shock. I felt like, a lot of my teenage years and coming out of high school and kind of getting kicked out of school and stuff like that, I really felt like I was heading down a different path, and I really felt like music saved me, pulled me away from, a bit of substance abuse and other like negative coping mechanisms, and, we're all learning to kind of deal with all the things that come up in life and traumas and loss and all these things. And I guess, it took me a while to figure out how to find, self-care and find more positive ways to, I guess, express myself. But it's always been music. And the more and more I dived into music, the more and more like, at peace and like present I felt, and the more healed I became. So she'd be proud, I think.
No, that's a great answer. It comes across. I mean, just because I related to you in that way as well, that coming of age story and just figuring out and then using this art form and this platform to sort of express. And you should know as well, like it's quite inspirational to other people who are listening and to the youth when you're coming out of that era. So look, I applaud you and I'm thankful again to you, Milan. Again, man, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I hope we could get to catch up again more often.
For sure.
On
make
the platform.
Music again soon
and make
too.
music too. We're going to be doing that. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining. This is By Your Side. You're here with Wise, Tino and Milan Ring. We're going to go into some music and we'll be back for more.